Welcome back to the Go Getters Coaching Podcast. Just a glass of wine on a back porch, and I'm a bourbon in a bar. She's an angel from Montgomery, I'm an old pawn shop guitar. She's wild miles in a mason jar, barbed wire and an old fence post. We go together like a gravel road and an AM radio. Here we go. Welcome back, man. Holy cow. But if you guys don't know what that is, it's Cameron Marlowe, Steady Heart. Just the unbelievable country song. You guys didn't even know that I was into country like that. But yeah, what are we going to talk about today? I think today we're going to keep it super simple. Peter was doing a little bit of traveling last week, and I'm in charge of the solo podcast. So when we go solo podcast, we get a little crazy. And I think one of the things that I've been working on myself, it's always cool to be able to learn stuff, pass it on, because man, life coaching, working with therapists, working with high performance coaches, this shit costs a lot of money, and just want to be able to spread the goodwill, because a lot of this has been very, very impactful for myself. And I think if it can be something that's valuable for you guys, and you can take something from it, hey, you ain't got to pay any money for it, right? Like, you could just learn from me. So one thing that I've been unpacking lately is the fact that winning for me, and the reason why it's so hard to feel like a winner, is because I always needed winning to look very, very specific. So what that means is, like, when I envision winning, I'm very married to like the result looking a very, very specific way. And if we look at like companies and things like that in the past, a lot of people pivot. Like, people aren't so rigid. It's like, oh, I've got to be able to do it this way, I've got to be able to win this way. Slack, before they became a SaaS company that's really successful now from a collaboration standpoint, was a company that was focused on games. They produce games. American Express used to be a mailing company, hence the name American Express. Play-Doh was something that was created in order to help people clean themselves, get rid of like charcoal stains, and now it's Play-Doh. But I say this because there's a lot of people that have been extremely successful that didn't originally pan out the way that they wanted to be. And I was listening to a couple of podcasts, and there's this billionaire, and the billionaire was like, life is fun, everything's a game, and I can create whatever I want. And I'm like, man, it's so cool to be able to see people like that speak with conviction, because it's like so different from like how I was raised or how I see things. And I'm unpacking this with like my life coach / therapist. I'm just like, how is that possible? And my coach coaches me on energy, so it's about like focusing on what kind of energy I want to project. But she was just saying that like people that win all the time have a very fluid way of looking at winning. They don't necessarily look at winning and it's like, oh, winning has to look like this. They know that everything that happens to them is happening for them, right? So it's like, what is the lesson here? How can I grow from this? Maybe something bad happened to me intentionally so that it can show me that I was meant for something else. So let's say like you are going to school and you start to fail at school, right? And maybe you're taking business, or maybe you're taking mathematics, physics, whatever it is that you're taking, or that you thought you were supposed to be taking, and you're failing. Someone might see this as like, I'm not smart, right? I'm dumb, and school is not for me. Someone that's really successful will think of it as like, you know what? I'm probably not someone that's meant to study these subjects. I'm actually probably meant for something else. So it's a good thing that I failed school, because it's moving me towards something that I should be doing. I've essentially found a way that doesn't work. And what you'll find is that like people that are extremely successful have this like irrational optimism. They just look at everything as like, oh, I'm just so grateful for this. Even though it looks like, they're getting kicked in the ass, they just see it as an opportunity to grow. And that's something that I realize is that, right? Like, I'm holding on to like what success in my life has to look like. And that makes it really hard to win because there's only one way of winning. Whereas if you just allow yourself to win so many different ways, well, life gets a lot easier. So that is one thing that I've been kind of learning myself. It's like being a little bit more fluid with like what winning and all that stuff looks like. Next thing that I've been learning and unpacking with my life coach is like figuring out what's enough. I think oftentimes, like in entrepreneurship, it's so easy to move the needle forward. Sorry for the unlocking. I just ready to get into Trader Joe's and do some grocery shopping. But I'll save you the, too much background story. But understanding what is enough. I think oftentimes it's like we see like people have more things, buy things, and there's just like so many things that you just kind of feel like you need in order to be happy. And you just really have to understand like what is enough. Thinking about like myself, right, and giving myself as an example. I remember when I first started off on this journey on entrepreneurship, I just wasn't fulfilled at the job that I was at before. I outgrew my role, and I really wanted Christy to work as a part of the team, but they didn't want to hire Christy because they thought there'd be a conflict of interest. So it felt like this friction where I was like, man. Also, the person that was managing me at the time, I didn't really necessarily want to be managed by them. But it felt at the time that I was working really hard to build someone else's dreams and, create opportunities for other people, but not create opportunities for my wife, girlfriend at the time. And I told them during that time, I was like, listen, like the only reason there's conflict of interest is because she's my girlfriend. And I said, the only reason that she's my girlfriend is like, I just haven't saved enough money yet to buy her a ring. But when I started entrepreneurship, when we started Moment, all I really wanted was to be able to afford a ring so I could marry Christy. And I wanted enough to just be able to live my life. And that was it. And then somewhere along the way, I was like, hey, I need more than this, right? Like in order for me to win, I need to have multiple clinics, multiple clinicians. I need to have all of these things happening. And what I've come to realize is like, man, I've already won. I've already sought out to accomplish what I originally wanted to do. And anything after this is gravy, right? Like it's just the cherry on the top. And when you sit in that kind of energy where you don't need something else, you don't have what we call commission breath, right? Commission breath is like when you're like, oh, well, I desperately need the sale. Oh, I need all these things because I got to pay rent. I got to pay for this expensive ass car lease that I got so that I can impress people that I don't care about. It's like my rent's pretty affordable. I drive the same Honda Accord. I don't spend lavishly. Sure, I've got some sneakers and stuff that I really enjoy. That's like my one thing that I'll put money on. But I haven't really bought that many sneakers recently. I've got all the sneakers that I pretty much want since I've wanted as a kid. I don't need anything. Like, I'm good. And it's dope to be able to sit in this energy because like I don't create stuff because I need it. I create stuff because I want it to exist. And it makes sales so much easier as well because it's like, listen, when it comes to like the clinic side, right? I'm like, you can go somewhere else if you want. It's perfectly fine, right? Like I'm gonna be fine whether or not you work with us or you don't work with us. But I know that if you work with us, I'll change your fucking life, right? And I've said this to patients before, like, listen, like, it doesn't matter to me. Like, you can go somewhere else, you can get care somewhere else. I just know that I'm world class. I know that I'm completely invested in the people that work with us, and when they work with us, their lives change. You can go to another clinic and you can get treated 3-4 other people at the same time. It's not gonna change my life, right? I just generally care about working with people that want to work with us, and if you want to work with us, we'll change your life. If you don't want to work with us, I hope you get the care that you need. And when people hear stuff like that, they're just like, wow. One, there's a lot of confidence and conviction, but there's no commission breath. Same thing with go-getters coaching, right? Some of you guys might be listening to this and you might resonate with these messages, and it's like, we don't need to work with anybody. Like, we just want to work with people that want to work with us, that want to level up. And it's been awesome to bring that kind of energy to the group and coach people on mindset. And it's cool to see people change as you're working with them. The way they look at money, the way they look at their business, at themselves. Like, that's the stuff that's fun, right? Like, people that want to work with us at this kind of level, and if they don't, like, perfect. Like, it doesn't matter if you scale up practice with us or somebody else. Like, I just want you to live a fulfilling life. It's not going to change anything for me. Sure, I enjoy the work that I do. We love coaching, and it's like probably some of the most fun calls that I do every single week. But I know that it's always going to be there. We deliver so much value that I know that we'll always have people to coach. We deliver so much value, I know that there'll always be people that are in pain that want to work with us, right? So it reduces this kind of like need for stuff. Like, I just want to wake up and want to do amazing work. I don't need to do any of these things. I have enough. So I guess this is a podcast that's kind of breaking down things that I've been working on myself, and I hope it kind of resonates with you, because some of you guys that might have attached your success or identity yourself as a winner towards like one specific outcome, and you feel like you've lost along the way. But what if all of these quote unquote losses or failures have just brought you closer to where you want to be, to where you should be? And then the other thing is just define when is enough, right? Because if you don't ever figure out what is enough, you're just always going to be in a rat race. You're always going to feel like you need more. And to be honest, man, there's so much fucking abundance in life. This episode is a little bit woo-woo, but mindset is this thing that's like, when you know someone's got it, you fucking know someone's got it, right? And it's this like frequency or wave or energy that you want to be around. And I used to think mindset was super corny, but now I would say it's the most important thing you can have. We can teach you all the sales and marketing tactics, but if you don't have a good mindset, if you don't have a good foundation, you're going to be seeing the world in scarcity. So that's it for today, guys. I'm at Trader Joe's, gotta pick up groceries. Gonna have a beautiful dinner at home with my wife. We've got meat and cheese, got pate, lots of wine. It's Monday, and life is fucking beautiful. And if you're listening to this podcast, one, I hope you enjoyed the country music singing, because yo, my country voice is twangy. I got that country in me. But I just hope you're having a great start to your week. I hope that you're having an amazing Monday. And yo, we gotta get our reviews up. Come on now. If you're listening to this, you found value in this, give us some reviews, give us a shout. If this episode resonated with you, holla at your boy. Let me know how you felt. And let's just fucking keep winning. Because we've already won. So let's just put some more cherry on top. Let's just keep winning. Let's just keep stacking these W's. Let's get it. Peace out, guys. Have a great week. And we got normal podcast resuming tomorrow.